Episode 2 of All Her Fault starts with a flashback to 5 years ago, when Marissa and Peter came home with Milo from the hospital. Now Marissa had a hard time as a new working mum, and she was tired and worn out, and Peter couldn't understand why. He didn't help with the night feedings, even though Marissa constantly asked for his help. In the end, Marissa figured everything out on her own, and once Milo started sleeping through the night, things seemed to get better. Back in the present, Marissa watches old videos of Milo, waiting for any news to come up about their son. She arranges to have Milo's pictures put up on the billboards near the highways, and of course things are still awkward between her and Peter. Now Colin drops by here to see how he can help, and Marissa informs him that they will be holding a press conference in the afternoon. She's hoping it will prompt the kidnapper to make a ransom call. At Jenny's house, she tries to fix Carrie's room after the police basically tore it apart. She thinks back to how Carrie was always sweet with Jacob, and Jacob asks when Carrie will return and who will take care of him. Jenny explains that she will take over for Carrie. When she asks Richie to clear his schedule for the following afternoon, he insists that he can't. Jenny is frustrated since she has a meeting with Lee and they need to figure out childcare. The police arrive and inform them that Carrie was using a fake identity and all the people in her references were fake, but Richie blames Jenny for not knowing. The police ask more questions about Carrie's schedule, and Jenny mentions that Carrie randomly asked for a day off on the 25th. Now at Marissa's house, Leah and Brian talk about the questions the detective asked the previous night. They agree that Peter was wrong for blaming Marissa for not checking the text number. After that, the family quietly drive to the TV station to prepare for the press conference. At the same time, Greco and Alcaraz worry over why there has been no ransom call. Now Alcaraz also notices that Peter took a leave of absence on the 25th, just like Carrie did. They start to wonder if he and Carrie might be working together. Meanwhile, Jenny drops Jacob off at school. Sarah and a few parents warn her to stay clear of Marissa, and they advise her to protect herself because Marissa will probably sue her once the shock passes. At the TV station, a few reporters stalk the family and get a shot of Marissa getting a prank call. Marissa realises that people on the internet have found their wedding pictures and think they are snobs. Aaliyah lashes out at the reporters while Marissa tries to explain why they need a positive public image. Peter steps in to handle the situation when Marissa starts to panic. Jenny calms her down and offers to design Milo's website while Marissa lies down. They find a quiet place and Jenny starts working on the website. Marissa asks more questions about Carrie and whether she is capable of hurting children. Jenny tells her that Carrie was kind to Jacob and went out of her way to make him happy. She assures Marissa that it is unlikely that Carrie will physically harm Milo. She offers to call Marissa's friends or family, but Marissa has no one. She only has Peter's family and his friends. Jenny jokes about becoming best friends and Marissa feels guilty for laughing. Marissa calls Peter's assistant next and asks what conference Peter had that day. The assistant checks and discovers that Peter had no conference and wasn't at the office either. Elsewhere, Anna talks to the police and lies that she is not familiar with Carrie. She mentions that most nannies take the kids to a playground a few miles from a school. On their way out, Alcaraz gets a call from his wife. He happily talks to his family while Greco wonders if Peter is capable of kidnapping his own son. Now at the TV station, Leah, Brian and Peter go through their social media apps and take down anything that may seem controversial. Peter admits that he is struggling and wants to help his siblings as a distraction. He gets a message and leaves to make a call. He asks the other party to name his price so they can end this ordeal. Did he kidnap his son? Marissa is on a call with Colin. She wants to know if Peter has been having an affair, and Colin claims it's unlikely, but he doesn't actually know. He offers to plan a door-to-door canvassing to see if anyone saw anything. Shortly after, the press conference starts and Alcaraz announces some details of the case. He invites Peter and Marissa to talk about Milo. The press turns on Marissa here, asking why she didn't know her son was missing until hours later. They also ask if she faked everything to get a book deal. Now Marissa tries to explain that she contacted a publishing company to get the contact information of an author who wrote a book about child kidnapping. The press then asks about the audit of her company following some debts. They question whether a book deal could offset the debts. Marissa is overwhelmed and starts walking away. The press continue to ask more questions, so she turns and shouts, "He is my son." Privately, Peter reveals that a reporter called earlier to ask about the staged kidnapping. Marissa gets angry that Peter tried to pay off the reporter instead of talking to her. She asks if he is having an affair with Carrie and where he was on the 25th. Peter comes clean about having a doctor's appointment to discuss the possibility of an experimental surgery on Brian. He assures Marissa that he has never cheated on her. Alcaraz interrogates Peter to get more information on his alibi for the 25th, and Peter reveals that he takes care of all of his siblings' bills. Brian lives in a guest house as we know, and goes on to tell Alcaraz that Brian's accident was Leah's fault. This is why Peter constantly does his best to keep Leah in check. Now Greco calls Alcaraz and reports that the police have found Carrie's nanny's car abandoned in Vernon Hills. Alcaraz points out that Carrie must have gotten someone to pick her up after dumping the car. They realise she is not working alone. In the meantime, Jenny drives Marissa home. Marissa gets a call from a bakery shop confirming the cake she wanted for Milo's upcoming birthday. Milo wanted a malt cake and Marissa had no idea what he meant. Jenny tells her that Jacob calls the malted milkshakes he likes malt. Jenny checks the card she gave Carrie and notices that every Tuesday Carrie took Jacob to the milkshake stand. Marissa goes through the card she gave Anna and realises that Carrie and Anna were always at the snack shop at the same time on the same day. It dawns on her that Anna lied about not knowing Carrie. The scene then cuts to Carrie preparing to change her hairstyle. Elsewhere, Anna grabs her bags and quietly leaves the motel, but back to Carrie, she shaves her hair and gets a wig. In the background, the news of Milo's kidnapping continues to play. Milo interrupts her and remarks on how nice she looks with her new hairstyle. She suggests they change his hair too, but the little boy worries his mum will get mad. Carrie lies that Marissa trusts her. Just then, there's a knock on the door and Carrie asks Milo to hide as if it were a game. She opens the door and finds the landlady. She's there to see how Carrie is settling in and give her an extra key. She sees the news and starts gossiping with Carrie about how the kidnapping of Milo was allegedly staged by the mum. Now Carrie acts nonchalantly and thanks her for the keys, and she then goes on to say she is expecting company, which is where episode 2 comes to an end. So the scene where the media turns on Marissa and start blaming her for the kidnapping is absolutely wild. However, it is a true representation of some societies today. A mother is typically expected to bear the greater responsibility in child rearing, and no one questioned why Peter couldn't pick up his son. They all turned to Marissa and demanded answers. They made it look like she chose work over the safety of her son, and they jumped to conclusions when they heard she contacted a publishing house and her company is being audited. Sadly, this is a perfect example of how low journalism ethics have fallen. Most of the media houses ran with the story without actually doing any decent fact checking. It's a relief to know Peter didn't kidnap Milo, but who is Carrie working with? Is Anna on the run? Why does she lie? Milo trusts Carrie, which begs the question, how long has Carrie had access to Milo? Based on the ending scene, Alcaraz is right. Since Carrie is now working with a partner, it increases the risks for Milo. Even though Carrie may not intend to harm her child physically, having a partner alters the dynamics significantly, leaving everything wide open for the next episode. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.